Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast hosted by the Alpha Gamma chapter of PDPsi Fraternity Incorporated here at George Mason University. My name is Kwan Nguyen, if you do not know that yet, and I am the host of this podcast series. If you haven't seen the first episode yet, please do check it out. That one's on our Alpha class and the founding of our chapter here at George Mason University. For this episode, the topic of it will be on relationships. Since this is the month of February and Valentine's Day has just passed, we thought it'd be a great idea to have an open discussion amongst the bros about our own dating lives and experiences. Anything in regards to our past relationships, our current relationships, any opinions that we have about the topic, and just the overall things that we've heard and seen along the way are all going to be included in this episode. Since the topic is going to be very broad, we decided to split it up into two parts. This is currently the first part, and the second part will be released later down the line. With that being said, with me today are my fellow brothers Lambda 58, Carl Enriquez, Brother Division, New 62, Jed Mendoza, Brother Phantasm, and New 64, Justin Jung, Brother Kinetic. Please do be advised that we are not trained professionals in any way, shape, or form. We are not love gurus, nor are we perfect people for that matter. We are merely a bunch of guys expressing our own opinions when it comes to dating and the experiences we face along our own lives. This is just to build a better understanding of the different perspectives in regards to this topic, so please take everything that we say with a grain of salt. Some of this may apply to you, some of this may not. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, so please do be respectful to that. If it applies to you, that is fantastic. If it doesn't, I hope this does shed light to a new perspective for you. Otherwise, keep an open mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is part 1 of 2. Hope to see you in the future episodes, and do check out the first episode if you have not already. AY. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the second episode of the podcast. My name is Kwan Nguyen. I am the host of this little, hopefully, new series that we're gonna continue with the fraternity. But with me today are 3 of my brothers. So let's not just start off with introductions. So Jed, I think you can go first.
All right, thanks, Kwa. Hi, I'm Jed Mendoza. I'm Brother PDPsi. I crossed Fall 19.
Hey guys, I'm Carl Enriquez, and I crossed Fall 18.
Hey guys, I'm Justin. I crossed Fall 19.
Okay. And so it's February, so it's Valentine's Day is coming up, guys. Hope everyone has plans. If not, hopefully you have something to do. But in light of that, I thought we can take the time to talk about relationships, since we all are college students, or we are graduated from college, and we all have our own experiences with meeting different people and seeing different people and their relationships and how things go up and down and whatnot. So I thought, let's see what we have to say about it. So I guess to start off is does everyone have some sort of relationship experience, like whether or not you've dated in the past or are you currently dating? So anybody can go first, honestly.
So my relationship experience, I've had a couple like long-term. Well, the longest relationship I've had was like 9 months. And I've had most of my relationships are short, but the few that I've had were like 9 months, 6 months, another 6 months.
Okay.
So I've had experience both short and long. Well,
Okay.
I think it's like 6 months, but I know some people who go to high school and they're still like college sweethearts, and then they become life partners.
Those are the dedicated people. Like, I'm impressed with like some of them. I know some of my friends who are like dated since high school and like now they're engaged. It's insane.
Yeah, I know. One of my best friends from high school, literally, he just proposed, and he's been with this girl since like our sophomore year. So I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it too, like, I'm a junior in college now. That's like 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Call, how about you?
Oh yeah. So for me, I've only been in one relationship, and I've been dating my girlfriend. Her name's T. She's from Jamie Kappa's, dating her since high school, so since 12th grade. So gone for over 5 years now.
That is some
Yeah.
dedication.
Wait, is this the longest relationship like among us? How about you,
Probably,
Quad? Like
yeah.
1 year?
I've been dating my girlfriend. I think we've just hit our 2 years. Yeah,
Ooh.
2 years.
Wow.
Like this
Okay.
past January.
Mhm.
Because of COVID though, it's been hard to like hang out with her because she's also from Cali, so I'm also in a long distance relationship. But we can talk about that in a later part of the show. But
A little bit
yeah.
later. Yeah.
But let's see. So Carl is the longest with
I
the
mean,
5
it
years.
seems like
Go for it.
now I was gonna be like, you two have like 3, 5 years. Like, how do you guys do it? Like, how do you stay committed?
Well, for me, it's just my mind. It's my mindset. I think it's a lot of mindset, and it's a lot of understanding between the two people. Because obviously, like I know in college, a lot of people say that you're in college, you want to experience what social life is compared to like high school, and so people try to like meet new people a lot of the times, and a lot of the times people just kind of like bounce back and forth. A lot of people just are in a relationship for like a year or like a couple months maybe, and then they just stop and then meet another person and date them for like another couple. It's like I've seen that, and so I think it's just a lot of times if you, for me, I don't want to have like those kinds of short-term relationships. I always try to like aim for like long term, to the best of my ability. So I think that's why I'm still in my relationship for now, but always in the back of my head, it might be a red flag for some people, but in the back of my head, I always think I shouldn't really be hard committing. Like I can't say I'm committed to the relationship until I guess I say I'm gonna marry you. That's when I can say my relationship is hard commitment. So I always keep in the back of my hand that there's always a chance that something might happen. Because yeah, I'm in a long distance relationship, so that already has its risks. So I'm always gonna be prepared to if things just doesn't work out, then I can understand it and I can accept it, so I don't have to like suffer that some people might have a different problem with. I don't know about Carl. How about you? How are you
Yeah,
and
man.
he like
What you
holding
Quad?
off for so long?
So for us, I guess it's I guess we've just experienced so much together. You know, we've literally become like almost like soulmates, I guess, in a way.
Mhm.
Like two peas in a pod. I don't know, uh, like I've met her family. She's met my family. Like I literally traveled around to like meet her mom and stuff. Her mom lives in Vegas, so like I went to Vegas to like meet her, and like I'm cool with her sisters as well. And I really can't imagine myself being with anyone else or experience that
Mhm.
kind of thing with anyone else. Like I have with
Mhm.
T. Um, and it's like it's been a long time. It's been 5 years, but I guess for some people, the relationship matures faster than others. And
Mhm.
for us, since we got together like so young, and she's also my first like girlfriend as well. Some people they get together and they get married within like 3 years because they're
Yeah.
like older and they really want to find that someone and do
Mm.
that sort of thing. But for us, um, I guess we're taking it a lot slower because we did meet so young and we don't want to. I guess I at least I don't want to see us like rush into things and like
Sure.
you know
Yeah.
settle down yet. I still need to find a job and do all of that kind of thing.
did,
But yeah,
did you ever think that your relationship was gonna last that long, like 5 years, especially since you're
honest,
coming from high school?
yeah, for me, I don't know. Like in my gut feeling,
Mm-hmm.
when I met T, the thing about with me and T is that um I knew she liked me and like I liked her too. So I knew that if we were gonna get together, like it would
It's a
go
good
on for
start.
a long time. It wouldn't be like a 6 months like little
like
stunt.
like the like the little short
Like
term relationship, like the
yeah,
flings, I
like
guess, in high
it did.
school.
I've never had any relationships
It wouldn't
before,
be a
but like, it didn't really feel like it was gonna be that sort of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like I guess because it wasn't like we met on like Tinder or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
or like we met from a friend of a friend. Like we met in our class and then like we gotten to know each other, and then we liked each other.
That's
And yeah,
good.
so that sort of process made it feel like this is gonna be a long-term relationship, maybe like
Okay.
over maybe about a year or more, and it's been 5 years now. So yeah,
Okay.
that's just my thought process about that.
It's interesting how you talk about like that mentality, just because my longest relationship was when I was in high school for like 9 months, and that went from my junior year to senior year.
Mhm.
So it was like you got to really connect. And the thing too, though, is that like that term, like they really need to be like your best friend.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, for sure.
I it never been able to like have that. See, I don't know if it's because like haven't been able to, or like I don't know if I just haven't put in the serious effort to
Mm.
do that. Making them your best friend, especially afterwards, just because like like when you're young and you're like in those type of relation, like in high school kind of thing, you're
Yeah.
kind of naive because it's new,
Mhm.
especially like your first girlfriend. So like you plan and rush ahead a lot of things. Like now I look back on, I'm like, my God, like I was 16 years old thinking like I knew who I wanted to be with.
Yeah.
But then after that point on, after I like kind of learned my lesson for that, because it actually took me a little while to get over that breakup.
Mhm.
Completely changed my mentality. Me want to be like, oh, I don't want this forever anymore. And
Mhm.
like realizing, especially like when you start college, because you're right, like the type of environment, social life you get exposed to, especially when you're from high school and you go to college, completely different. Like,
Mhm.
you go from like a high school that has like 2,000 people tops sometimes, and now you're at a university that has like almost 30,000 people kind of thing, especially
Mhm.
at Mason. Um, that like completely changed everything. To the point where I have like that, I guess, young mentality, especially coming in college as soon as I turned 18, to be like, like not really actively look for anything. Like if anything
Mhm.
comes, it comes, because I'm like an avid believer of, if you are actively seeking for a relationship, you're gonna catch false feelings because you're setting yourself up for that. You're gonna kind of just get really infatuated with the idea than like actually really connect with that person.
Mhm.
And I learned that the hard way, especially with me doing like dating apps.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, we could talk about it a little bit later, but it's interesting you talk about the mentality, just because
Yeah.
like
Like,
mentality has completely changed for me now.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think growing up, a lot of us were kind of hear the things that some people say. It's like, I think when I was young, I've heard that when a girl is like trying to be interested in you, you kind of have like this sweet spot. Like you have like within like X amount of days to actually like convince them that you like them and they like you back, and that's when they will accept you and actually will go out with you, which is a weird way, in my opinion, it's a weird thought process, to be honest, to have like this set time limit that goes interested to you in you, and after that expires, it becomes like the friend zone, like in high school you have like the friend zone. People always saying, I want to get out of the friend zone, but you miss your chance, right? Have you guys heard of that? I'm sure you guys have. Yeah. So
Never heard of that time period before, though.
it was like it's like say like you meet a new person like as a friend, and then there's like a point in time where like the girl is like, it can be the guy too, but I've always heard but being a guy, I've heard the girl point, it's like the girl would be interested in you, and there's like a time frame where that girl would be interested in dating you, but then if it goes on for too long, it's like that's when she's no longer interested, something like that, something along those lines, right? And I've heard that in so many cases, and I always thought, yeah, it's not for me, and I'm just gonna do how I do it. And the way how I feel it should be is like, I'm gonna be friends with you to the best of my ability. If I do like you, I'm just want to make this friendship like pretty close, and then even if that exists, like the whole time frame when they're interested, then that just helps me, because then that lets me know that like if you're really not interested to me, then I can see the signs, and the signs being like, for example, if I'm trying to hang out with you and they're actually trying to like put some effort in hanging out with me, then I'm like, oh, that's like, I think that's like a bump in like, I guess the potential meter, I guess you can, something. There's like a bump, a one step higher, and then like if they continue to like put effort, so like if I want to hang out with you today, like can you do it? And if they don't try to like beat around the bush, or like they don't try to like reschedule something, stuff like that, then
Right, like set aside time for you.
Yeah, like they actually like, even if like they say like, oh, I'm actually busy, but I can do this day. Like if you hear that, if I hear that, I'm just like, maybe they're like, maybe they're interested. So that's when I slowly put on more and more gears to progress, to like actually like, I guess get to the point where like I can comfortably say I kind of want to date you, or like ask, and not just kind of quickly jump the gun and like just straight up ask and then pray for a yes or no answer, right? Because then at that point I'm more sure of myself than just saying like I'm just gonna ask, and then if she rejects me, then I just have to suck it up. Because I feel like when something like that happens, people have the issue of where when somebody confesses to you and then you say no, and then now there's this awkward tension, and then whatever friendship you had with them, it's kind of like thrown out down the drain, right? So that's why. So I always keep it as like a friendship up until a point where if they seem like they're actually interested in me, then I will actually put effort. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep it as a really close friendship, if anything. I don't know if you guys have like any other inputs to that.
I mean, like, so from my experience, yeah, you're totally right. Like, if a woman, like, you have a certain period of time, a woman will make her interest known, in subtle ways, because they won't, if she makes it obvious to you, and then you reject her, that like most women can't handle that rejection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being like
Now
flat
they're
out.
Canadian guys, man.
Yeah, guys
Hurt
too.
their
It's
egos,
so.
bro.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays
We're
it's more of
expected.
guys can't handle the rejection.
expected.
It's
Yeah.
like,
But I mean, like, but yeah, they'll give you like subtle hints. And if
Yeah.
you don't like respond to that within that time frame, then
Yeah.
yeah, they'll just move on.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't get to talk about my like, yeah,
Go for it.
I don't know, I lost my train of thought. But
I mean,
I'll throw it back.
yeah, I mean, to go off what you just said, yeah, like they will give you subtle hints like the first like couple like times you meet them. And for me, when I see that, I'm like, I'm not gonna pick it up immediately. That's not like I'm not gonna be thinking about it all the time, since when I was in high school, I was never thinking about dating. So if that ever happened, I would have not known. So persistence would work with me. And so like, because obviously like for me, I feel like in my past, I will always grow some sort of like feeling towards people I've met. Like it would just slowly grow on me to a point where it's like, damn, I can actually like kind of caught feelings, but I'm not gonna do anything about it, because obviously with the whole, they're gonna give you the subtle hints in the beginning, and then to a certain point they're gonna just stop and just move on. So if they stop, then I'm like, okay, I missed my chance or whatever. It was probably not gonna work if they're not interested in me now. I don't see how they would be interested in me like in the future. So I'm like, it's fine. It's like, it sucks to suck, but whatever. As long as if I'm still friends with them, then it's great. It's fantastic. It's like, have a friend to like just talk to sometime in the future, maybe. But yeah, but if that time frame ever expired, or if they end up coming back and start like giving signs again, and I notice, like, then and it goes on for periods of time, like even years maybe, then that's when I start considering relationship. Otherwise, I still consider it like friendship, like really close friends. But obviously, like there's specific signs that lead towards like a dating relationship type than just being friends. Like
There's also so like to like add on to that, I guess. There's also this transition between like in relationships where like a guy and a girl have like a thing, like first they're friends, and then all of a sudden they have a thing. Like, I don't know, where does that, you know what I mean?
a thing.
Yeah, like that transition
could you be a
before,
little
Like
bit more clear?
they're talking, I guess, but they're not
Yeah.
official.
Oh,
Like,
you see, and that's the interesting part that I've learned from somebody was like, there's a difference between dating someone and there's a difference between being in a relationship. And I always thought those words were like synonymous.
Yeah.
And then I like thought about it. No, like there's actually a difference between like just exclusively dating someone and then like taking it to actual next step of being like in a relationship.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I
sorry,
remember
water.
because like
Oh, go
my
ahead.
first relationship, I was like 15, right? And I thought you had to be friends. You have to share like certain like things, like not like not similarities, like we both like something, you know what I mean?
True.
Like we both like this food, we
Mhm.
both wear the same clothes, we both go to the same school. That's
Mhm.
why we're like meant to be, right?
Mhm.
But you know, that
Both
was when I was
Filipino.
16. Yeah, man. I still think about like my first girlfriend, like, and that was like a long time ago. That was when I was like
Yeah.
15. Um, and she left. Like it wasn't, you know, I was young. It wasn't like the most healthiest relationship, but it was certainly like the sweetest, most innocent. Um,
Yeah.
and it was so pure. Like,
Mhm.
I've been thinking about it. I'm like, yo, uh, although we broke up, we don't talk. That's definitely that relationship. Like my first one, I definitely know without a doubt that is love. Like what I had then was love.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you guys. Like, what do you think of love? Like, how do you
Wait, you're
define
saying
Oh
love?
you fell in love
oh
when you were
no.
15 with like your first
No,
girlfriend?
like okay. So since then, like I've had relationship experiences. Like I've done serious stuff. I've done casual stuff. And then like looking back all the way, like I know for sure the first relationship I had, that was definitely I loved her without doubt. And she loved me.
Yeah.
And that's what made that one like
Mhm.
I know it's unfortunate, but people grow up. Um I mean, all right, we can go back to that, but that relationship, like looking back, like I'm like, dude, that
Yeah.
I'm like, that's love. So I want to know what do you guys think about love? Like,
Yeah,
uh,
that's actually pretty
do you know
interesting.
what love is?
Yeah, like so you said that was like that happened when you were about like 15
Mhm.
ish.
Yeah, man.
That was like that, and for that long term, that was actually like I know that exact same thought you're thinking because I would I haven't thought about it in a while, but like I've reflected like back then, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like yes, you're right. Like who in high school has a healthy relationship, right? You don't know anything. Um,
Some
but
people just naturally got lucky with it.
right, right. So it's like that feeling where also have the same thing where looking back on it, I don't think other than like my first girlfriend,
Mhm.
I have never ever loved anybody. You know what I mean? Like, and just that like actual genuine like care and
Mhm.
emotional support kind of thing. Like, I can wholeheartedly say like, yeah, like whatever love is, um,
That was
I
it. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that
yeah,
was
that
it.
was
I think I knew what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like
okay.
I think that's like the same with anybody who's had a first love that you felt like a first love in general, like a first relationship. I feel like I also had the same feeling. And it's the same as you describe it. It's like in the moment you think you like found the person you really want to be with, but then you realize not at the time, but like maybe down the line after you've broken up that what contributed to like why that didn't continue or like what made it like an issue that ended up causing the breakup. But like definitely like for being like for like the first relationship, it's like you have no prior experience of like liking somebody to that extent other than like say your family members, and so once you met that you kind of like damn like I want to keep it, you know. And then when it falls through and like you end up breaking up, then that really hits you hard. And it's for me like my first relationship, I've only had two relationships, like my first relationship when I got into college, and then my relationship now. And my first relationship when I got into college, it was definitely the things that definitely defined who I this what my mindset is now. And
Mm.
it's definitely like shown me like the things I need to work with, and that's definitely something like I know a lot of people say dating a lot. It's there is like that debate where you either date a lot or you don't date a lot, you know. Like the more you date the more experience you get, but versus like dating a few but having genuine like relationships, it's like that debate is kind of like here and there. There's some things that are like reasonable, that's understandable for having a lot of relationships, because then you have a lot to work with and you know what you're looking for. versus like people who are in like a couple relationships, like maybe 2 or 3 in total, but they're like really long and deep relationships. So it's like fair trade-off there. And for me, it's like, yeah, I agree. I could have dated a lot or explored the thought more in high school, just so I kind of like don't have to like deal with it in college. But at the same time, it's like I think it's better for me to absorb everyone else's stories and perspective and then make it my own. Because I think that's also a good way for me to envision how I would feel in a relationship. And then when it comes around to the time, then I already have like a head start, I guess. I don't know. That's how I think.
What about you, Carl? Like, do you think you know what love is?
Seeing that you are in like your first
What love
relationship,
Oh, I know what love is.
considering that
mean,
you are in your first relationship.
Show me. I want to feel what love is. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I could not help it.
I love it.
Like, I can't help it. It's coming in my mind.
I don't know. I feel like everyone experiences love differently. For me, I'm a very like introverted person. I don't really like, express or talk about myself a lot or express my feelings a lot. I feel very very vulnerable when I do, and like I guess my mentality, like I just don't like feeling vulnerable. I just don't. It just makes me very shy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I don't really express a lot of that kind of feelings, unfortunately. But I really do feel that way to like especially my family and obviously my girlfriend as well. But like for me, that feeling is um I don't know. It's very basic, you know. It's nothing complicated. It's like you wanna you just wanna check on them every day, every morning, make sure they're doing okay. You wanna make sure they're doing okay mentally, that they're getting through whatever they have to get through,
Mm-hmm.
like as effective as they can, and you want to be a proper support system for them. And this goes for like my girlfriend and my family as well. But just that my girlfriend's going through so much, so I need to make sure that I'm there mentally for her. And I guess for some people, if like they don't care, then they're not willing to put in the time or effort to like be with them enough. And I feel like that I'm in a position where I do care and I do love her, and I am willing to put it all the time in the world just to help her out and make sure she has to get through what she has to get through. I don't know, it's nothing
Yeah.
complicated for me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I think going off of that, like, of course, yeah, I think what everyone sees in a relationship is being that supporting factor. Like, you want to be supportive of your significant other and such. So like what you said with like you want to be there for her like all the time, like try to help her. My question is, to what extent do you feel like it's too much? Like, do you feel like I know some people think like when you're supporting your girlfriend or boyfriend, you have to be there 100% of the time. You have to give 100% of the effort, right? But I feel like there are some cases where some things are almost not possible for the other person to help you with. So for like if it's like a personal issue, like for me it's like I guess for example, I am kind of like ashamed of how my body looks or like that I'm really being unhealthy. Like, do you think it's in like the significant other's best interest to like be always like hammering and
Yes,
telling
I know what you
them
mean.
to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
support them, right? And then that with that kind of situation, it comes to the point where like sometimes they take offense to what you say, right? Like being as like a guy, for example, like I know I have to work out, I had to eat healthy, and then so if your significant other were to like say that to you straight up, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a thing where like you can either sugarcoat it and always try to like pretend or like give them the answer they want to hear, or versus give the question that they should hear. Like you have to be
So
straight up.
with that, for me, that really comes like just experience being just knowing that person for a long time. So
Yeah.
like, you know, I know T very well. Like
Mhm.
we've been together 5 years and like we literally talk every day.
Mhm.
So like I know what she like wants to hear. I know like I have a general idea at least of what she wants to hear and
Mhm.
what she wants and what she doesn't like and what she's ashamed of and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So in a way, in terms of like what you said, like stuff that she doesn't want to hear or sugarcoating it. Sorry.
You're talking
Yeah,
about like how much you go tea and
yeah. So like in terms of like sugarcoating, you just have to be very what's the word?
respect your
Creative.
partner.
You have to be very creative in how you want to say what you want to say. So for
Interesting.
me, if T want, it's like tells me to exercise, but I'm like, no, I don't want to. Like, stop. Like, blah blah blah. Stop fucking shaming me. She
Mhm.
can
You're
be
making me
like,
sad.
she can be like, I don't know. She has a Switch game for like exercising, and she
Oh,
like
I think I know
tells
what
me to
you're
use it
talking
all the time.
about.
So yeah, she's like, do this, or like, let's play Just Dance. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not body shaming. It's not you're not sugarcoating it either. Like you shouldn't sugarcoat it if it's
Yeah.
serious and like it can put us like
Uh-huh.
if it's serious and it's also serious to their health.
Mhm.
You should have a serious conversation with them, sit down with them, like talk about it. But like um in terms of just like being casual about it, you can be creative.
Mhm.
If you know the person well enough, like you'll find your own way to say what you want to say and execute it properly. And then um you really do want to have that conversation though with them, like sit down and have that talk. But yeah, um that's just how I see it. Just like be creative in how you want to say it and how you want to execute it.
True.
And that comes with experience and knowing the person very well.
I feel
I think
like. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, I think that's a good skill to have in just general, being able to be honest with someone, um, as long as you're affirming, be like, this is no criticism to you,
Mhm.
but I need you to tell you this truth. This is the truth, um, because I care about you. And if you make
Truth
sure,
hurts, man.
truth
I
hurts,
know,
but
yeah,
it's definitely up to the other person
be
to
like,
accept it.
be upfront, like, I care about you, but you need
Cardi, you get a
to like
job.
yourself, like you be like, yo, I care about you, but what you're doing is hurting you. You need to stop this. You need to do this. And if that causes the relationship to break, well, I feel like then it wasn't healthy to begin with.
I don't
I
know.
agree
I
with
feel
that.
like
I agree with that, honestly.
in
Yeah.
relationships, like there's always going to be arguments, even about that kind of thing that you're talking
Yeah.
about, Jed. Like, but it's up to you and the other person and decide whether you want to continue it and like strengthen the relationship even more,
Yeah.
or like if you care about each other enough to like make it work out. Like
Yeah. At the end of
yeah,
the
I
day,
mean,
it's like definitely if you can work it out at the end of the day, it's like that's when you know your relationship's good.
and not only
Every
that, but you also like learn even more about each other through
Mhm.
these like conversations as
Yeah.
well.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like it always boils down to the hard point of comfortability and knowing your partner, right?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you know your partner isn't the best at taking straight up hard criticism or
Mhm.
hard criticism like that, like won't go that route. Then also like I don't know, I'm speaking this on like my experience.
Mhm.
Like I'm okay with taking hard criticism. Like I don't like when people beat around the bush and sugarcoat and like put it in different ways. Just tell me how it is straight up. And if it's in the situation where you actually have to tell me it's serious and straight up, and you see like for example, I'll bring my like personal insecurity that I've had for forever. Like, dude, I was a chunky kid. Like, I don't know, like
Me too, buddy.
coming out of the like, coming out the womb, I'm pretty sure I was like 15 pounds, bro. I don't know. I was just always a chunky kid, right? So let's say because I've had instances where I'd be someone and they know how much I care about my health, like, and you guys know, like,
Mhm.
I lift a lot. Like, I don't know how many days like I'm in the gym, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like as long as you actively put that action, like I feel like
Mhm.
it's also in that comfortability sense. If from experience, if my partner were to tell me like, "Yo, like, go work out," kind of thing, like I'd be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, maybe this is like a trait that I didn't even notice." Like I'm kind of letting myself slip up, and that happened like through high school. I'd be like, okay, like I need to take it serious because like this person, because at the end of the day, it's like it's not like they're coming from this like sadistic place to want to hurt your feelings. I hope
Mhm.
not, because that's absolutely
Yeah.
cruel. But um, to the point where it's like it should be motivating to you to know that like your partner actually genuinely cares and will bring this up to your attention.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, I feel like it's always about like that comfortability, like that situation, like how vulnerable you are, especially to that person too. Because there's like in the beginning stages, who wants to straight up just hear like
The nice stuff.
you letting like you letting yourself slip up, like kind of thing. It's like I feel like you build that deeper trust and connection, and then you can get. I feel like for me, you could get to that level.
Yeah, like history. History, building rapport. That Rich Brian song. We got history.
Oh no. Yeah.
I think
Interesting.
that's sounds like a really healthy perspective, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
Dude,
definitely.
you look great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah, I miss my high school
This
self.
is why I would rather just have Jed always be like my hype man. But for real, it's like, yeah, like especially in that sense of like, I'm gonna go on this topic now with like self insecurities. For the longest time, especially from like middle school, and you see like your friends dating in middle school, and then here you are like you're not dating everyone. That's one terrible like middle school relationships. Jeez. But you start to think like, for me too, is like, why can't I get a girlfriend kind of thing, and then that literally carried on until um I was in my first relationship in my junior year. And then it was to that point where it was like I was actively working out. My body still looked like pudding, dude. Like it's just because I never had that like healthy balance of like working out and eating right. It was always like because either I was playing basketball, I was playing lacrosse like 5 times a week for like 2-hour practices or like games. So I was like, this is enough cardio. Like I want to like replenish myself, kind of thing, and kind of reward myself to the point where I got into college and I was like thinking a lot. And this was the major change from when went from like my old mindset to my new mindset now was my freshman year in college. When I was 17 before I turned 18, like right before we started school, I told myself, I was like, I want to get in the best shape that I can before I go into college. I don't want to be this like insecure like freshman in high like in like I'm um and my first semester that didn't happen just because like you're acclimating to a new study environment, and then to the point of where hit my second semester, so my freshman year spring semester, I was like I'm just not gonna like accept this anymore, and like you put it to action. So I told Jed like I ballooned up to like 280 pounds. Like it was bad. Yeah, and then from that point, that beginning of that spring semester, all the way until that summer, like just that dedication and like keeping that motivation and like that insecurity, I was, I think I burned about like 50, 60 pounds within those months.
Shit, damn.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, like 2 a day, 2 days eating right and knowing what I had to do. But then that like what I'm trying to say, that correlation to is like knowing your insecurities, like seriously working on them. Because at that point it was like it boosted my confidence like at one point too much. But it's not only for you at that point, is for whoever you actively kind of want to seek for, and being in that right mental state and being able to tackle on your insecurities still. I still have that, but just being able to work on it myself and like really actively get into that mindset, I feel like also prepares you to also be able to help your partner in their insecurities, know how to help them. Especially, at least for me, it's like I'm always like words of affirmation, you know. Like I'm gonna be there
You're,
to
like,
the best
the language
I can.
that you do, like
True.
you affirm
Yeah,
people,
for what
or
I
is
do,
that
a lot of
you get
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like quality time and like love, words of affirmation for me.
For
That
like giving
that
or
I
receiving?
receive, or I'm sorry, I give, right?
Okay.
So it's in that respect. So like just that type of like insecurities in general is like I feel like something you gotta like even if it's like pre-relationship, before you even if you like meet somebody and like you start to go in to this like like this dating stage, like I feel like that's something that should already be kind of fixed.
Yeah.
And also at a state, at least if it's not, I'm not saying it has to be completely fixed, or at least it's at a state where you're comfortable to receive criticism from that.
Yeah.
And for me, it motivates me to do better, keep working on that.
Yeah.
What's everyone's love languages? Justin already told us. Why not everyone else?
Want to go, Carl? You
Wait, what
first.
love languages?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think
I was like,
what
tea.
do you give? What do you
Like French?
receive?
no, no, it's like
Like-
like Justin
Have you
said.
never taken that test? You
I
never
don't think
taken-
what are the
I don't think
other
I-
what are the other aspects? I forget.
Oh, it's quality time,
Mhm.
words of affirmation,
Oh.
physical touch, like gifts.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Physical gifts. Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, it's I mean, quality time, right? Isn't that
Some people are different.
the main one?
Yeah.
Isn't that the main
Yeah. I
one?
mean, some people
Some people are different.
Some
It's
people,
kind
yeah.
of crazy.
like solely like their love language, like their first thing is physical touch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like some people's like quality time. Some people's like gifts, like receiving gifts,
Or
or giving gifts even. Yeah, or giving gifts. So it's like it's actually different.
I do all of it, but like my main thing, I guess, is
Yeah,
time.
dude.
I guess it's like more
Carl-
of like what you
Constant
can't
problem.
live without. So for me, it's like quality time, like hands down. And then after that, I think it's just shoot. I don't even care much for gifts, to be fair. It's nice, but it's not.
But gifts are fun.
Gifts are fun, but the thing is, it's fun. Like I'm fine with just having like gifts every like once in a while, like every so often for certain occasions. Obviously, I want it
So
at some
you
point,
you
but
don't
it's not like a deal breaker unless it's like I never got anything in return, you know? But for me, like the main part of my relationship, what I look for is a lot of like quality time / like I guess just time in general with them. Like it can be either just talking or just seeing them, or even just hang out with them. Like that's all
I just feel
really
like
need.
I just feel like they all tie together, you know, like physical touch. You have to like to be in touch with someone, you're spending time with them.
I think physical
then, like,
touch
with
really
gifts,
literally means like physical touch. Like,
Touching someone, like
no,
oh.
like, so I'm pretty
It's
sure
like-
that's what
it's
it
like-
is. but-
Yeah. It's like
Well,
it's
even
like
like with
cutting edge
gifts,
That
stuff,
is what
you know?
it is, but
Even
Carl's
with
just making
gifts,
it weird.
it's like oh, like a gift can be anything, you know. It's like oh
Yeah, but some
like
people,
here's dinner for us, or
right?
here's like
Yeah, but some people don't see
And that's
that.
still
Some
time.
people think it's like a
Mm.
physical object. That's where it comes down to. So like for example, for physical touch, it would not work for someone who has a love language of physical touch to be in a long distance relationship, because you're never going to
Mm.
physically be with them.
ah
So in
I
in
see.
that sense, that's when it's
Well-
that's when it's a deal breaker. For me,
Yeah.
it's quality time. So for me, my definition of quality time is literally just talking to them, like whether it's over camera, over phone, or like just in general. As long as I'm communicating with them, that's all really care like deeply for. That's like important to me. It doesn't mean that I don't care about anything else. It just means that I need that to reassure myself of the relationship, I guess you can say.
I guess for like all the sugar daddies or whatever out there,
effort-
it's for them
The
it's
effort.
gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry Justin, I interrupted you.
No, I was just saying, it's definitely with that quality time. It's like I want to, because obviously, if I'm ready to go into this thing
Mhm.
with you, like a serious thing with you, I'm not gonna give you like 80%, right? I'm gonna give you 110. Like if I'm only receiving like 70, like come on, you know?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
back and forth. It's
No,
two-way street. It's always
it
a
has
two-way
to
street.
be it has to be a balanced relationship. It can't be one-sided.
Yeah.
There's definitely been situations where I've noticed that too, where it's like, especially with me with quality times, like I don't want to sit there FaceTime you for like 4 hours. I'm okay
Yeah.
with FaceTiming you for like, even if you're busy, just like make that time out of your day for me for like 10 minutes. Let's just joke. Let's just talk about like stupid stuff that went on in your day and laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, there's definitely been situations for me where I don't know if it just wasn't clear communication. That's like what I thought, and they thought like FaceTiming meant like I want to be like we're gonna be on FaceTime for like 4 hours because but
No, I
That's
I
not
don't
for,
think
that's not for everyone. No.
yeah, no, I don't think, and I feel like I don't think anybody can actually say they can be on a 4-hour FaceTime with a significant other like every day of the week or every other day of the week. Like
I used to do
In the
that.
I can
beginning,
People
in
just
the
need their
beginning,
alone time.
in
Yeah.
the beginning, yes. I've
Like-
definitely done. I've like, there's definitely been situations where like I'm talking with somebody like.
yeah.
Oh, during the,
fall
that's
Well,
the
asleep.
honeymoon
Well,
phase. That's
well,
the
in the
honeymoon
beginning,
phase.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's easy, but in terms of
Yeah.
like a long-term relationship, it's not possible. Like it gets to a
Yeah.
point where you realize that the what you see in like a good relationship for in the case of myself, like I'm in long distance, so I never see my girlfriend that often compared to like say Carl, who him and his girlfriend is like literally in the area, same area, so it's
Mhm.
easy for them to see each other so like in person. But for me, I don't see my girlfriend like sometimes for a whole half a year, and it's for me personally, it's fine because I've kind of like conditioned myself to accept the fact that I can still care really much about this person, even if it's just down to like just talking to them every so often during the day, or even just communicating through like social media every so often during the day. As long as they're still talking to me, talking to back, and we still like just talking about random stuff or anything, or she's still reaching out to me to like just talk about personal stuff, and that's when like I can say like, yeah, it's like my relationship is still going strong, even though I don't see them like most of the time.
Yeah, that's for sure. But like, I don't know. I think like quality time for me too. It's like weird because I could. Say if I'm like on a 3-hour FaceTime call with somebody, and this is definitely like towards the beginning, or towards the beginning,
Towards
like
the beginning,
I-
yeah, it makes
we
sense.
would probably talk for 4 hours until like we both fell asleep on FaceTime, and I wake up and my phone is like scorching hot. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I've
yeah,
experienced that.
I
I burned
remember that.
myself
But then-
once, dude.
Dude, my
yeah,
phone
like your
becomes like
phone
a
hits
fucking
the
sauna.
automatic alarm. Yeah, but there's like towards my long like the longest relationship I've been in, it's like quality time because this was in high school and she lived like maybe like 30-40 minutes away, so it's like
Mhm.
and I didn't drive, so quality time also meant like, and since we were both in high school, like just sitting on FaceTime, we didn't even have to say anything. We're
Mhm.
doing our own stuff, but like just knowing like that presence was there, that felt
Yeah.
like quality time, you know.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
me with my first relationship, and that was like one of the things that was a key factor in my who I am when it comes to relationship is like if I like those I just want to see them and just like be in the presence of them. Doesn't even mean like I'm talking to them. I can just be in the presence of them and
Right.
I'm happy.
Silent FaceTime calls,
Wait, I'm gonna-
burning up my battery.
I have to
What's up?
interject. Like
Go for it.
on the topic of like calling someone.
Mhm.
This is for all you boomers. I
What?
remember waiting until like 7 p.m. because that's when the minutes were free.
Oh!
I was like,
What?
oh shit! Oh, it's time to call her. I was like, flip the phone.
I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
Talk. Let's talk.
No, I remember that. Yeah, for like AT&T,
Oh,
it
yeah,
used to
yeah.
be at 9 p.m.
Damn. I
Damn,
did not.
I don't know.
yeah, I didn't
think
know that. I didn't have that problem.
Why did you Skype, bro?
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
Skype. I
Yeah.
remember just being on Skype with my friends or even my significant other, my first relationship. I was on Skype just talking or just chilling. Literally just sitting there. Yeah, with a laptop. I'm just sitting there, just like sometimes just super quiet and just not really doing much for like long periods of time, and nobody really wants to like say they had to go.
But yeah, my love language is like for like most people around, words of affirmation is the easiest for me to give. Definitely. But like with someone close, like my mom, like I have to look, but I definitely like with my mom, like I really love her. Acts of service, I do that around
Oh
my
yeah.
mom.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
much.
access service. Yeah.
Oh
I
that,
think
yeah, that I think
like
that's my second. That's my second. Is acts of service.
like I like for just like loving like like people like my mother and my family. I think acts of service is really important.
Mm.
But from like uh I think those are the two that I can give the best. And then what I like receiving is physical touch.
Mhm.
That well for romantically. That's
Okay.
what I love, like romantically in a relationship, physical touch.
True.
And the next one, I think I like receiving just in general, like
Gifts.
Call just
I
wants
don't know.
gifts, man. That's all I'm
I
hearing.
I like when acts of service. Like I like
Mhm.
receiving. So those are the two for me. Like
Yeah.
first one for a
Do
romantic.
you like?
Mhm.
I was
Go ahead.
I get you were about to say, but I was just gonna like jump that. So you like giving acts of service, and you like receiving acts of service back too.
Yeah, yeah. Like I like like doing things, and I like them to do things for me. Like, and
Mhm.
I want to like build up on that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but actually, I'm gonna introduce something else though. Like, I think the love language I'm bad at and I don't really care for is quality time. I don't know about what you guys think. Like, for me,
Gifts.
like,
I think that's a difference in like what people view as quality time. Um, for me, it's like yeah, it's for my definition, like I said, it's just literally spending time with them, no matter what it is, whether it's in person, whether it's over online. Because definitely, that's I think, and personally, I believe that's for in cases of long distance relationships. I think that's very important to have or understand at least that quality time can be that. Obviously not. It's that's why long distance relationships is not for everyone and it's difficult. But I'm just happy that mine's still going pretty strong. But yeah, obviously at some point I would love to have that physical time or like to be there in person with the person. But obviously they have to understand that being in two different sides of the country, it's like very tough. So as long as there's an effort to like get to that point, that's however it is, however you make it work, I think that's all I really need. All I really need for my relationship. What about you guys in terms of was it
you guys,
physical
like
What
we can.
quality
my
time
word or physical?
or quality time? I think answering Jet's question.
So yeah, I spoke on some of the quality time, but Jed, were you talking about like
Like, which one do you
what you're
like
bad at?
bad at, or
Yeah.
like which one do you think, like, like, oh, if this other person, like, they value quality time, we ain't gonna work. Like, that's for me. Like, if this girl values quality time, I'll be like, I have a life.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So for me,
I would be like, "No, we're not gonna work out. Like, your love language is quality time. I'm sorry, we're not working out."
for me, it's definitely
Jed
any
does
part
not
of
want to hang out with you.
any part of the any part of the gift realm. Either if they want me to give them gifts as like their first sign, or if they want to give me gifts as their first sign, it's like a big red flag for me. Because I view that as kind of like I'm not trying to like bag on anybody who does, but for me personally, it's
Yeah.
yes, it's expensive.
She take
I
my
really don't like
money.
people spending that much money on me like that. Like I don't like people spending money regardless. And two, I feel like it's so superficial.
True.
Right? I don't want you to prove to me that you care by giving me
The best
PS5.
things. Yeah. Like the
Like,
most expensive
okay,
things.
if you give me a PS5, I might have to marry you, but
Gaming chair.
yeah, I didn't get yeah, this is the setup. But yeah, just that whole entire gifts idea, I don't like. I mean, to the point of like for me, when I was like first started dating kind of thing, like I would do small stuff like dates, first dates and stuff, or when I feel like kind of spoiling the girl kind of thing, I would always show up with flowers.
Yeah.
Like they say chivalry is dead. But yeah, I'd bring in like flowers or like small like little like plushes
Yeah.
kind of thing. I mean, yeah, they get pricey. Even like with my first girlfriend, she was Korean, so we did that like the whole entire like oh Korea celebrates like 100-day things. I got her 100 red roses, like, and like after that point, I noticed I was like, why am I like? And of course she was like thankful and everything, but it's kind of like why the gifts? Because it made me realize like in order like she knows I love her at the time. Um, so why did I just drop like $175 on roses that are gonna die in the next 3 hours? So yeah, anything in that gift realm, I don't like. That's my worst part.
True. I think it's like for that gifts thing. I think some people just like the thought of it. I think that's why some girls like kind of like want the significant others to do something for them, and probably same thing with guys too. They want if they have like gifts as like one of their love languages, they want something back. I think for me, it's like I do want gifts, I do like gifts, but knowing my financial state, like I'm not gonna be able to support that. Like even if I wanted to, there's no way in hell for me to be capable of doing something like that. I've seen some of my friends and their relationships and the things they've done together. Like I'm like, damn, if I had that money, I would totally do that too, but I don't. So I'm gonna do the best I can, or that's why my love language is like more quality time, because that's more in the realm of like just spending time. Is more practical and realistic, at least to me. And then if I have the opportunities to like give gifts, or I find something that I want to give gifts, then that kind of falls into the lines of like acts of that the acts one, where like just you do stuff for
Service.
them, like acts of services. That for me, that it falls into the realm of that. Like I can do stuff for you. That's my gift
Right.
to
So
you.
it's not even like the point of you wanting to like give them gifts because like you feel self-reward. More like act of service. Like it's not about the gift at the end of the day. It's more I care about how you feel, and this is like a little
Yeah, because like definitely like you can like if you like have infinite source of money and you just give them all the things they want, like is that a really good relationship? Can you say that like with just that on its own? Like I don't think so. I think that's a very like you said, superficial relationship. They're just there to use you, basically, is how I feel. Whether or not it's true or not, but I don't know. Some people are different, so.
she after your money, bro.
How about you, Carl?
What about you, Carl?
What's
What
the
are we talking
thing?
about?
What's
Quality
the
time?
what's the least? I guess out of the love languages, what's the
Least
least
important?
one you feel is least important to you?
Like you know,
Or
like
Yeah, I honestly agree with you guys. Like receiving gifts,
okay.
just reminds me of like sugar daddies and sugar babies. You know, like
What's wrong with
I
that?
mean, I mean, okay, so
Nothing wrong with
everyone has their own thing, okay? And for me, if you want to give me gifts and like be in a relationship, you better like I don't know, buy me a house, buy my family a house, move all my family in the Philippines over to America. So that's shit. Like you better buy that for me. Otherwise,
Now,
like no.
now that is a gift.
that's one hell of a gift. It's not gonna be you have to marry them. Your family is gonna be like, Carl, you better marry this person.
Yeah,
I accept
mean,
them
like,
as my child now.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like that kind of relationship. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, of course. Like if that's your forte, go at
Yeah,
it.
if you're happy,
Yeah.
then like what
Yeah.
can I say? Unless it's like something disgusting, like yeah, but
Yeah, nah.
I don't know. I'm like sidetracking too much, but yeah.
It's fine. No. Yeah, as long as you're happy, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. As long as you can work things out, it's all you really need for a good relationship.
And like words of affirmation, like good job, Carl. Like oh my god.
To me, I feel like it's a little bit cringe. I'm like okay with it, and for me, but it's like every so often it's not for me.
Yeah,
I
actually,
don't need
words
to.
of affirmation is not that much for me. Honestly, it kind of feels like pity, and I'm like,
Yeah,
or, like
it's like
Well, I feel like words of affirmation though isn't like you did great, Carl. I love you. It's more of like being.
is it not
thanks,
that?
Justin. I love you too.
I don't. Yeah, I do love Carlo. Who doesn't love Carl? That's the question. No, the thing is like at least for words of affirmation for me, it's more like giving that support of what I'm thinking and like letting you know that I'm there for you through and through.
Yeah.
However bad the situation is, like I'm gonna be there for you and what like and giving you my 2 cents on it and like trying to work because that's just how I think. For me, it's
yeah.
if you have a problem, you let yourself emotionally go first, get that all out the way, and then you come back to reality, and it's like, all right, how am I going to fix this, or what am I going to do to put myself in that better position? That's just how I go through, and like I like to so far it's been helping me a lot with whatever self insecurities or like whatever problems I go through. Right, you always got to
Yeah.
give yourself that emotional time to kind of like let it out. Don't keep it in.
Yeah.
I've learned that I learned that terrible mistake of keeping it in, but
Keeping it in definitely is
yeah,
like self-destructive.
yeah, not
Yeah.
only to you, but then like you take it out on your partner for no good reason when they want to be there for you. Yeah, that was a terrible thing that I had to learn, but
Mhm.
yeah, just words of affirmation for me is that of like I'm gonna support you to the best I can, and you know there's situations where especially if they're going through stuff emotionally and mentally, you can't give them physical support like that. Like you know, yeah, a hug helps,
Mhm.
cuddling helps, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's the words you say make them feel secure. That's how I take words of
Yeah.
affirmation.
For me, I'm terrible at it. I feel it's just because
Mm.
like at least because for me, words of affirmation, it's a kind of I think personally in my mind it's redundant to me, and I have a tendency to overthink things. So whenever it comes down to it, I kind of already know what the answer is, and I don't really need to hear it again and such. And yeah, I do like knowing that they say it. It's still nice, and but I guess like it's still in a way like it's still kind of cringy. It doesn't mean I don't want it. It's just like it's like I know already. So with that mindset, it makes me really bad at words of affirmation. And for me personally, that's one of my girlfriend's like love languages is words of affirmation, and I'm god awful at it. Like I would say it like as many times as I can humanly can, at least for my ability. But sometimes there's gonna be at a moment where I just don't know what to say because I know like it's not, I guess, realistic. Obviously it depends on the situation, but like there are those situations where sometimes like words of affirmation you can't come up with like a thing to say because you just know like you don't want to like sugarcoat it because you know that it's definitely an issue that should be solved, that needs solving, but they need the word of affirmation. But then for me I kind of feel like if I do that, it might like hinder the image, or like it might defeat the point of like saying like they need to get like this is the actual problem, because it just makes me sound like it's not a problem. It's like it's fine, or like you're this and that. It's like because for me it's like I feel like I'm not being true to myself. I don't know, in a sense.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
like there are those cases where I can say it because like I genuinely feel it, but some other times it's like those like very nitpicky type issues, and they just want to hear you say like, oh, like you're the most beautiful person ever, like am I pretty, or like would you, it's like those like really weird like girlfriend questions that they ask their boyfriends to see if they would see what kind of
It's a
answer they would
test.
say.
It's a
Yeah,
trap.
It's a
like
trap.
it's a trap. Those trap questions, and for me it's like I don't know what answer you want me to tell you, because I don't like what kind of what, I don't know what you want me to say, because if I say what you want to say, then I'm lying to myself. And if I say and then if I say what I want to say, they think like, oh, you don't care much about me, like, stuff like that. That's why words of affirmation is very tough for me.
I mean, a little white
You know-
lies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
white lies maybe one or two times is fine, but if you say it like every goddamn time, then that's when I'm just like, okay, you need to stop, and you need to like, we need to figure this out. Because I'm
You know what's
fine
funny?
with
Though? I had a good chuckle when you literally just said that because I fell into that trap once where they're like, am I the like you could tell she was like joking, but like she expected me to say yes.
Yeah.
She was like, "Am I the prettiest girl in the world?" I looked at her. I was like, "No."
Oh my god, no.
And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Because
What?
for me, I'm not gonna tell you something that I don't mean."
Me,
You know what I mean?
have
And
you
I
not
thought-
seen this idol?
I'm sure she knew she's not. I'm sure she
No,
just,
no, exactly. And
you
I
know,
was
she
like, "Oh
knows
my God."
she's
I got-
not. She just wants to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got so much slack for it. It's so funny. She's like, "Am I not the prettiest girl, or am I not the prettiest girl in the world you ever seen?" I was like, "No, because Rihanna exists."
Okay,
There you go.
that's sick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Well, I
she
didn't
was
think
like,
to do it that
exactly.
way.
There
Oh
you
my
Yeah.
God! Don't even get me started on Rihanna. That's like, but
Literally, yeah.
Oh my.
Those
That's
questions bother me so much.
Yeah.
Like as much as like I know what the answer is, because everyone says it, and everyone posts on social media about it. But I'm like, come on, what kind of cap you trying to tell me?
no. At the end of the day, beauty is skin deep. Like
At the end of the day, beauty is defined by social media.
beauty is defined by your clout.
Oh god, no. That's why it's so tough. Like even you can be like the most prettiest person I've ever met. It's like if I don't like your personality or something just does not feel right to me, then it's not gonna happen no matter how much I like
But yeah,
you.
no, dude. I mean,
For sure.
come on. Like I've met plenty of pretty girls, and at the end of the day, the way they especially treat people and
Mhm.
how they do other people, it's absolutely disgusting. That automatically drops you down. Like
Yeah.
I can never look at that person as pretty again. Like it's always about how you are as a person.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it always ends up just being an image. Like you just look pretty. It doesn't mean you are pretty deep down.
Yeah.
That's what it's for me.
Ooh. Let's move on to dating apps.
Dating apps.
Oh heck
I've
yeah.
never used it, so I've seen
Bumble,
so many people
Tinder.
use it. It's so funny.
Oh my god, how can I?
I don't know what.
Oh man,
What
I
is
just
it?
see my friends use it and I troll on it.
Yeah, I've seen so many people troll on it. It's like play games on it basically. I'm like, damn.
For me,
at the end of the day, dating apps is a game. Whether
Yeah.
whether whoever you're on there for, at the end of the day,
IGN
is-
10 out of 10.
it is literally a game where you rack up to see how many people think you're attractive, and it boosts your ego.
Oh
And
yes,
to that
for
extent,
sure.
when I was to that extent when I was
Yeah.
telling you, my ego was getting a little too high, is because on dating apps, I'm like,
It was like,
just
Justin,
it was
get
like
inside me, please.
okay, but it's like your ego gets boosted so much off of that, and it's so superficial too. Like at the end of the day, it's when you create an app, and like, be honest, nobody reads your bio. Like, I think I had possibly one of the most clever bios that I've ever thought of. Like nobody reads that. I don't read bios, or at the time I'm off of it, but at the time, like you just don't read it. So it's like it's opposite. I know I just said like beauty skin deep and everything, but it's like when you're on those, you start to realize like you so superficial that you're swiping either left or right based off how somebody looks. And like once you realize that, ugh, it's actually like freaking toxic.
Yeah,
Mm.
it sounds pretty fucked, but
I mean,
I
some
mean,
people,
like,
some
I'm
people
not-
have
it
some
works for
success
some
in it.
people. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know anything about. I have no experience with it, so I don't know. I have nothing to say about it.
I just use it when I'm on the toilet. Just be like, all right, nice. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right,
Instead of
that's it.
there's no
I'm
more
done.
reading time on the toilet,
Down.
it's swiping time.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
I mean, like, not all dating apps are the same, right? Like, some are for
No, but
like
at the end of the day,
Christians.
but if you boil down to the gist of it,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
If dating apps were supposed to be let's see if our personalities connect,
Mhm.
why does photos have to be a thing? Why do you have to you don't have to. You could like
True.
Well,
pictures
she's
of, like,
missing an ear.
memes.
Just missing.
joking.
Who cares if you connect emotionally so much on dating apps and you think like I want to meet this person. This person's great.
Yeah.
If you meet up to if I personally were to go to a date and she's, as you said, if she's like missing an ear, I'm like, all right, whatever. We connect.
Mhm.
I want to keep talking to you and see where it goes. Like, it's I don't know, it's such a weird play.
I
And
respect
especially
it,
like
Justin.
I respect
Yeah,
that
no.
thought.
like when you go on there, especially like, dude, I'm 20.
Yeah.
I think I was on there like when I was like 18. What do you know? Like when you're
trying-
18.
I'm just trying to get laid, bro. Like,
What?
That wasn't my initial thought of going in, because I honest to God thought once I came into college, like I'd find like the one, and then like stick with her, and then go through of like a majority of college and like start going through like young adult life together, and kind of like how I want my life to be planned out. Yeah, that window's passed for me. So
meet the girl in orientation. The
it's the-
dream.
well, here's the thing though, it's like it's at the point now where My brother-in-law always tells me this too. He's like, dude, you're 20 years old. What is the rush?
Yeah.
After
Right.
he told me that when I was like 19.
Mm.
Like as soon as like I was like 18, 19, he told me that. I was like,
Wait,
yeah,
how old's your
holy,
brother-in-law?
he's 31 now. He just turned 31.
Yeah,
He's
And
young
yeah,
too.
45.
he's young too, but he's had that experience in his life. Is I think for him to be able to tell me, it's like just don't even like try to actively look for a relationship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just and that's what I've noticed. Like at this point, it's like I don't want a relationship, and it's like I want to just enjoy. Just want to enjoy your company.
Mm.
I mean, like it doesn't even have to be anything serious. If we connect, cool.
Mm.
Just going to dinner. I
Yeah.
just want to enjoy your company and to like have nice conversation and like if that turns into something, it turns into something. I'm not gonna fight it because at the end of the day, if it's not, I wasn't like I want to date this girl. I'm gonna like try my hardest for her. It's not like it's forced. It naturally comes in
You
that
got it.
way, and it's like it's a lot more organic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like I feel like some people take it to the point where if they end up in a bad relationship, they're just like, yeah, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. Like, no, I don't want to be back into it. Like, and then I think I was I was listening to another podcast about this guy who deals with couples and those kinds of relationship matters, and he said like having that kind of mindset kind of ruins it for when there's an opportunity that you have that could end up in a very amazing relationship, but because you have that mindset, you kind of ruin it. So for me, it's like, yeah, it's like definitely fine to just be like, yeah, I have all the time in the world. I can like do whatever, and then we can be friends. And then if it ever gets any further, then like, yeah, it's just we can go for it if we feel like mutually that it could potentially work. But
Right,
you
and
don't have to
I've
actively seek it. Yeah.
fallen on my own sword on that
Mhm.
a lot of times. I mean, I feel like a lot of bros know this. From the time when I started, from the time when I started, like I had my first relationship, and after that ended, like
Mhm.
I was always constantly talking with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I don't know why. Um, it's not like I have like attachment issues kind of thing either.
Mhm.
It's just like I'm just constantly like the last 2019 to like going into 2020 is like ridiculous. Like no, I did a lot of self reflection on it.
Mhm.
I was like, why do I need to do that? It's like why do I need to feel like I need to constantly be talking to somebody like want to be interested in instead of and not even taking it the right way of like starting off as friends. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It'd be like it's like a complete backward mindset that I've like finally noticed until to the point where I was like laying in my bed in the beginning of 2021. I was like holy crap, like what was I doing? And I was finally able to realize like I have a lot of stuff coming up ahead of me in
Mhm.
2021 to the point where like let's just like focus on me for once finally and not try
Yeah.
to always focus on somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's February and I haven't broke yet, but yeah, and Valentine's Day coming up. Yeah, I do be lonely, but
It's fine. It's like you just do
yeah,
it.
but it is what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's whatever. Like what happens after Valentine's Day passes because it's gonna pass. It's gonna get here one day or another, right? One thing or another, and you just kind of move on with it. Like yeah. I don't know if you guys have any context or anything you want to say to that. Like, I mean, Jed knows like kind of the
I mean,
part of
like,
like
yeah, I get it, dude. Like, what I can add to that is basically my strategy. It's like I put myself first. Like, I love myself, um, enough. I mean, I think you need to be in a healthy mindset to have a healthy relationship, right?
Yeah. That
So you need
is
to love yourself.
Yeah, that is like the number one thing that anybody would say is that you gotta like love yourself. You gotta say that you are in the perfect position. You're like there's no flaws in you in the moment, even if there is. It's like, but you believe that you don't have it. that's when you are like
I
ready
mean,
to
you know,
to
you
be
don't have to
contribute.
be the fittest dude.
No,
You don't
yeah,
have to be handsome dude, but you have to be in the mindset where you're like, you know what, I'm worth it. I love myself,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And
Right.
a big part of that, like when I go into life doing both serious relationships and casual ones, is
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm putting myself first.
Right.
She needs to like, I know I'm the shit. I'm gonna own that shit. I'm the shit. You need to prove to me
Hmm.
that you respect that, and maybe
I
we could do.
respect it. You're not a simp, bro.
No, I was about to say,
There
bro,
you
like,
You're no
go.
simp.
we ain't no
You know, it's
simps, even though I was a
just
big simp.
one thing, king mentality, you know.
Like I ain't no.
That's like,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm not gonna say what it said.
it's like the what do you call it? No, it's not. I don't want to be like simps and stuff, but it's more like king mentality. Like I'm the king. I'm looking for my queen. We're gonna build a kingdom, something like that. You know what I mean?
Jed wants to
Okay.
Jed wants to run the world. No, I
No,
respect
but
that though. I
like
mean,
that's like
that's
a
what it is. Yeah,
relationship.
you should be
Yeah.
you should
But
actively, or not actively, but you should be wanting to have that other person that's like they know they own it. You know you own it, and you
Yeah.
guys can be strong
Self love
together.
is very important.
Mm.
I think like self love, just like loving yourself, having respect for yourself, like all that stuff is really important. Not just in relationships, but
yeah,
just like living. You know.
that said, like I don't like all that though. It really isn't important to me when like I'm doing casual stuff because like I'm like we're just trying to have a good time, you know,
Well, yeah,
just having
obviously.
fun.
Hmm.
Uh,
Obviously, but when it comes to relationships, yeah, definitely, it's always you gotta handle yourself before you
mm,
can think about doing that.
what was it? I wanted to say like I think my views are very different on dating versus what you guys think.
What do you feel about dating then?
Like he's like I go into dating well right now or well actually yeah I'm not looking for anything serious. So when I'm not looking
Hmm.
for anything serious, like I'm open to dating like anybody. If even if I'm not like interested like in marriage or any of that, like
Hmm.
or even something serious, I'll still open to be like, yo, what's up? Let's just have fun, you know?
I mean, sure, you
Just
do you.
going into it for the sake of going into it. Like
Yeah,
I'll be like, this is an opportunity for me to learn how to be better at
of
relationships.
course, yeah,
I don't plan on marrying you at all. I'll really
yeah.
plan on I'll treat you well, but I'm not gonna say I'm gonna fall in love with you. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to fall in love with you. Um,
Mm. I think.
I think that's the big difference, though. Like, I'm not. I can. I've gone into relationships with the mindset, like, yeah, I'm not. I don't see us a future in us, but I'll
Hmm.
go into it for the sake of learning. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You're just using her as a test subject.
Yeah.
Well, no, you never know though, because it's like
Yeah, it's just however you
if
go
you
at
go
it.
Well,
into
no,
that. No. What I'm
I've
saying,
had.
like, you never
Yeah.
in the aspect of the test subject. It's like you never know because you should always actively be wanting to work on yourself for the better in a relationship, right? I guess like if that turns into something, that's great because you just made yourself better for this person, and not only for this person, for you.
Hmm.
Well, no, I'm.
I feel like
You
it's
know,
also
I
kind of
work.
dangerous, like that mindset, especially for the other person, because you're just setting up that relationship for failure. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean, but I make it obvious, like
Okay.
she like if the girl's really into me, but I'm like, I'm not really that serious about you,
Yeah,
but
set the
I'll
boundaries.
okay,
yeah,
then
yeah,
if you
I,
have that
You
conversation and
set the
she's still,
boundaries.
I always,
that's her
dude,
fault.
straight up, you need to
Yeah,
have like I always set boundaries like
yeah.
Hmm.
for relationships like that. I'm like,
As
this
I.
Oh,
is
you
if
have
you
to,
can't handle
especially
it,
when you're like you just want to keep it casual. You have to set the boundaries.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I can feel that. Yeah, I think for me, when I kind of do it in the same manner, except it's not like actively saying I'm dating you just to like try it. Like still going on a date, like even if it's like a 1 or 2 day thing. For me, it's like I go over the same process, but as like friends, I guess you could say. Like um I just start off as like friends and we can stay friends for however long we want. I'd rather have you as a friend, in my opinion. I'd rather have you as a friend than like date you for like a day or two and just never think about you again. It's like I know a lot of people think that way, and that's fine, that's them. But for me, it's like I'd rather like if I can be friends with you at first, then that's great, and then I build that kind of like that friendship, and then from there, if it starts becoming a thing, then I'll consider dating. That's my process. I just
Yeah.
don't, it's kind of the same way you say, like, just to get more experience of what you like and dislike. I do it the same way when I'm building friendships. It's like I kind of look at the person, and I look at like the character, and then I think about it, like, is it something that I could see in a relationship with somebody else, like if they had that same mindset. And then over the course of like all my friends and stuff, I know like the things I don't like to hear from people. I know the things that bother me, or like the way people act and people treat. It's like what bothers me, and that's how I determine my relationships and like how I think in my relationships. So it's the same way as you go about it, Jed, in a sense where like you're just trying to get experience and like trying to like see like you're trying to see like what you like, what you dislike and stuff. I just go about it like as a more like a friendship route
For
than
for friendships.
dating. But I mean, yeah, I've seen that all the time. It's nothing new. It's fair. It's like that's just you. And there a lot of people are out there who are same mindset and they just do the same thing. So whatever works, whatever floats your boat, basically. So. With that in mind, thank you everyone for tuning in to the first part of this episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. We got to learn a lot about each other and about our own opinions and viewpoints when it comes to having relationships or even dating for that matter. And I do hope you guys got to learn something new while listening to us discuss. This is the end of the first part, but do stay tuned for the second part, which should be released towards the end of the month. If not, just be on the lookout for it, and we're going to be trying to push out as a third episode coming March. We're going to be trying to do monthly episodes since we are all students first and we don't have enough time and I guess the freedom to make more consistent episodes in a more shorter period of time. So please do understand that. But if you do enjoy it, please support us. Follow us on social media. Check us out. This will be on YouTube. So leave a comment, I guess. Leave a like. If you have anything that or any ideas you guys want us to discuss, just shoot us a message, either GMU PDPsi, or if you could find us on social media, please do that. Otherwise, thank you everyone. Hope you enjoy your day and stay safe in this pandemic. And AY.